Alex. I have an Instagram and also a YouTube Love Sugar Show. So I want to thank you for taking your time for doing the interview.
It's me thanking you for taking your time to do it. So absolutely. Nice to meet you, Alex.
Nice to meet you as well. So the first question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is how's everything going in your world today? Not just musically, but also in your personal life as well, because that's important too.
I was actually I actually hit the wall 6 months ago. So I've been on like 50%. Um, how do you say that? I've been able to work like 50%. My brain was completely cloudy. I'm getting back there, but it was a rough ride to be honest. I had too much things on my shoulders.
Oh,
But other than that, I have also, apart from Cyhra, I've been doing a lot of acting recently, and I also started a brand new uploading service for bands and musicians that don't have a record label. It's called Outdora.music. It works like the competitors, but it's way, way bigger. So that has been a thing that I've been working a lot on lately.
well, that's awesome. So it kind of gives bands without labels like a place to go.
Exactly, exactly. We also take care of the promotional part that how to post on all your social media platforms, why you should do this post, and we also create the post for you, and you could post everything directly to your social media from our system. So it's a pretty massive thing that we've built.
That's awesome. How's everything
Yeah.
musically?
And musically, well, what do you mean?
Like with the band, this new
Uh, the
album?
ba- the band, like we've been on some kind of a hiatus right now since we started to write music for this album. But now we're finally releasing this album, and we can finally start going out to play live shows again. So I'm really looking forward for that. But we live in four different countries, so it's not that we see each other each
Yeah.
and every day. It's we more or less only meet when we have a show. So that's the sad part of being the band that Cyhra is. Um, that we're not close together. We're all scattered all around the world.
And which four countries are you guys all in?
We're in Switzerland, Finland, and Sweden and Germany.
Oh, okay. Well, at least same continent. That's something.
Yeah,
Not
exactly. It's
amazing,
the
but
same.
so I have a lot of questions with this
It's
album.
actually only three countries now because Oiga just moved from Switzerland to Finland. So it's only three countries.
Hey, maybe it'll get down to two and one eventually.
Exactly.
Well, I want to say this album was really great, like from start to finish. So I think that you guys did a great job on the album itself. I actually listened to it quite a few times. It's definitely going in my playlist. It was really good.
Oh, thank you. I really like hearing that. But I must ask you a question then about the last song on the album, which sticks out a little bit. What were your thoughts about regarding that one?
Honestly, I thought the album flowed really well, and because I actually listened to it like two times in a row. So the end song and then the beginning song, like they just flowed really well. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to listen to it again. So I just like looped it from the end song to the start, and we just did twice in a row.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice to hear because the last song that we did with Sami, um, is it's so off the rest of the album, but in some magical way, it actually sits, together with all the other songs. I think that's a magical moment.
Yeah, it was definitely different. And I was like, okay, I need to make sure I'm listening to the same album,
You're
but it
actually
still
making
fit.
sure. Exactly.
But it somehow still fit. Like it wasn't so different that it was like, okay, this is just a completely different song. And then, like I said, it started into then the same first song. And I'm like, okay, this fits really well together. So that was really cool. And I want to talk the about the song Bleed with Pride. It's the first song and it just has a lot of energy in it. Like when I listened to it, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like whether that's running, roller skating, whatever I want to do. What was the intention behind like putting so much energy in like that first song?
Uh, here's I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you a funny story regarding choosing singles and choosing like which track order you should have on an album, right? For many years in my career, I was, the dictator on like this is the single, this is the track list, blah blah blah. But after a couple of records, I realized that I don't know a shit about what's right when it comes to these things because like I always choose the wrong single and someone else always choose the I mean, like when I was still in Amaranth, I remember we had this song called Drop Dead Cynical that we were just like, no, that's not a single, that's not a single. And the label were pushing like, no, this is we had like this fist fight with the label and they won. And we were very thankful for that because that became a huge hit. Uh, so I have no reason honest, like being completely honest with you, I have nothing to say with the track list of the album. I actually told the record label, you listen to the album, you pick the track list. So I don't know why we put that song there, but I think it's a fantastic song. It has, as you say, a lot of energy, and I always get very happy when people say what you just said that it works for something that you do if it's a gym song or if it's this is my favorite song in the car or when I roller skate or wherever because that means that you associate the song with something in your life and that is always a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah, what was the kind of creative process for that song? Because, like I said, it you can feel the emotion in it. It's not just like a hey, we're a band, we're making a song. Like you can feel the emotions in the song.
Uh, so for me, it always starts differently, right? So sometimes I just sit fiddling with the piano to just make like some chord structures. Sometimes I fiddle with the guitar. Sometimes I walk the dog and I get like a melody in my head.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's a part of a lyric, almost like a poem, running around in my head. What am I trying to say with this? But I always do the music first. And it's not until I have the song, the music behind it, that I start to do the vocals. But I always also go back and forth because if the vocals turns out to be emotional, as you said, or if it's, something funny or whatever, then I always go back into the music and change the music to fit the vocals because it's always the vocals that is the most important thing. And then you need to like dress the music around the vocals a little bit.
Hmm.
So all songs are always a process. It's some songs takes 10 minutes, not many, but most songs takes months for me to create. And then when I'm done, I then send it to the other guys in the band that can actually play their instruments. And and then I
Yeah.
get something back and I was like, "Yes, this is exactly what I thought about it because it sounded like shit when I sent it to them."
So they help put like the magical touch on it.
Totally. Yeah, on this album, it has been a real collaborative effort because some of the songs I've gotten riffs from the guitar players and I've started to do things and sometimes I've sent stuff to them and they send the things back or they come up with something that is better or I dissect their songs. There's some songs that I've gotten from the others that have been full songs that I've only used like one part to build a chorus around and then but it's been a really collaborative effort to be honest.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like it's like a collaboration between all of you guys.
Yeah, totally. And it has worked out fantastic. That's the best thing with Cyhra, that it's a complete brotherhood, and it's always great to be in a band where there's never any problems,
Yeah.
between us.
Yeah, totally. Like just peaceful collaboration, healthy relationship.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, with this album, one thing I noticed, which I listened to quite a few metal albums being an interviewer, but the vocals are really clean. Like I could tell what the lyrics were without usually, looking at a lyric sheet and having to follow along with it. Was that intentional?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I last couple of albums that I've made, I've listened to a lot of new modern metal, and you could those productions always make sure that you could listen and you could understand, you could hear what the singer is saying. So it's a production thing that Oiga, our guitar player, because he's the one mixing the album,
Hmm.
he did a fantastic job on that. We were battling a little bit on the first couple of singles to get the vocal sound and the mix level right and so on, but in the end I was extremely happy about the how it all turned out.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed right away. I'm like, wow, these vocals are like really clean. And I could like, I was listening to the song and I'm like, okay, like the vocals are there, it's clean, it's in the forefront. I'm like, I know what the song is about now, or I think I do
Mhm.
anyway. So with this band, what's it like celebrating your 10th anniversary?
I haven't started to celebrate that just yet because for me, the 10th anniversary will be next year when Letters to Myself turns 10 years.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, it was 10 years ago that the band was formed. But, and another thing is that it feels so effing weird to
Yeah,
know that we've been around for 10 years already. That's crazy because it doesn't feel like that. But I look at my kids and I realize that okay, everyone's right, I'm wrong. But no, we haven't started to celebrate it yet, and we're thinking about doing some cool things next year. I think the first album was released in October or something like that. So I have like a year and a half um before we need to, do something.
so you're like waiting until next year then to celebrate that.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting till next year. Yeah.
Well, awesome. I do want to ask you about one of the songs. It's Miss Me When I'm Gone. It has like an eerie, more like serious tone. What was like the creative process behind that one? Because it's like it's a little bit different than the rest of the album, like, upbeat, but this one's like an eerie, more serious tone.
I, I guess that all songs on this album are serious, but I have to go back a little bit and just tell you that Cyrus, the first two albums were a lot about Jesper's addiction and his problem with alcohol and abuse and um, his anxiety. And I more or less interviewed him and wrote lyrics that, told his story, right?
Hmm.
And I've never, prior to Cyhra, I've never been like this personal kind of lyric guy. I've always wanted to write like songs or lyrics that were movie scripts. Like a complete fictional story. Usual
Yeah.
that was usual what was in my lyrics. But um, I learned something from the first two albums. So now on this album, uh, I have a lot of things that I actually talk about from my own perspective, and in many ways that was hard,
Yeah.
but it's also really good to just don't give a fuck because I've always
Yeah.
been that kind of guy that is all like, oh, if I write this, what will that person that this song is about, say, oh, why did you write that? Will they figure it out? If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But I didn't give a shit on this one, and uh, Miss Me When I'm Gone has so many sub context into it, but I've been open with it in many interviews that I've lived with death anxiety my whole life, and that is always something that comes back into my lyrics in one way or the other. Now,
Yeah.
if this song is about that specifically, I don't really know, but that is one way that you could read into it.
Hmm.
Um, so, and then how the song sounds. I always like to make at least one song on an album that sticks out a little bit, that is not, the same shape and form as all the other songs.
Yeah.
Um, but on this album, I would say that Center of a Miracle is the one that sticks out in that is more poppy and not that metal.
Yeah. Well, with this, I know you said like, you're, trying to do something different and just not caring about, what you write about. Was there like a releasing or like a therapeutic feeling behind that to just kind of let go and do what you wanted?
Not really on this album, but I've had one experience with that, and that is um A Battle from Within, the song, the one of the singles from No Halos in Hell. That song
Hmm.
I wrote about my brother who passed away. Now it's, I don't know how many years ago it is now, but um, eh, he disappeared through suicide, and I had just like put the lid on and not felt anything about, like it was like a pressure cooker for me. And when I wrote that song and I let that out, that was just like going to 100 therapy session at once, because it was extremely rewarding is the wrong word maybe, but it felt really good to get those feelings out of there when I wrote that song. On this album, I've learned, like, I walk around with those thoughts every day. So you're like,
Yeah.
it's not something that I hold in.
Well, that's a good thing. And sorry to hear about your brother. It's definitely never easy going through losses in life with anyone.
No, if you've missed that video, you should totally check it out, because the we made this video for that song with the fan base. So the fans are in the video showing signs and the lyrics, and yeah, it's a really good video.
Awesome. I will definitely make sure to link it below so everyone else can check it out too.
Yeah, do that.
And with this album, you said that it's about accepting the scars instead of hiding them. Is that kind of what you're talking about? Like just being open and not really caring like what you want to write? You're just going to write it regardless of what other people think, or what was kind of behind that?
It's a multi-layered answer to that, and also a multi-layered meaning, because Cyhra rise to the top with the first two albums. Then the pandemic hit, and we just lost momentum. And
Yeah.
in many ways, that's our scars, right? And we need to accept them and move forward. We cannot just lay down and bleed to death. And this album for me is a revenge. That's the meaning of the Requiem for a Pipe Dream. That we will not give up. But this is our, you know, the journey is crooked, right?
Yeah. It's rarely
But
straight. Well, that's cool because, like you said, I've talked to a lot of bands and they kind of said the same thing about COVID. Like it felt like 5 years was taken away where music was kind of like not the same as it is now. So is this kind of like a bounce back album to kind of like combat that?
absolutely, absolutely. But here's the thing. I mean, I'm not hiding, or how to put it. I'm just being honest about the situation, that we haven't toured the way that we wanted to do for several years now. But
Yeah.
now it's in my opinion, it's up to us to show the fan base and the metal community and everyone that listens to music that this is a worthy album to listen to, and it's a worthy band to support, to make sure that we come out and get to meet the fan base again. So I just hope that this album will be received well and that people like it. But if they don't, it's cool too because like to answer what you said before, I have stopped giving a shit about the whole, like, oh, whom shall I please this time?
Yeah.
Uh, I only please myself. I am extremely proud of this album. I think the songs are amazing. And I wrote songs that I want to listen to myself. And then I just hope that people have the same taste as I have.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned the song In the Center of a Miracle. It sounds like kind of a sweet song, which is, I think, a little bit, it definitely stuck out to me. What was like the creative process for that song?
I actually wanted to write like a thank you song to my family. Um,
Aw,
so that is actually a really personal song to me. So the creative part was I was just sitting with the piano and for some reason, whenever you're doing some kind of ballady song, piano is always the go-to instrument. It always like it sounds it gives you a sound back. It resonates in a complete different way than a electrical guitar does.
mhm.
You're able to write um vocal melodies over a piano that you can't do if someone is just playing chords on a guitar. Um but that was the song that I wrote myself. And
Yeah, well,
then but then the creative part, I shouldn't say myself because I need to give Vikram Sakar the biggest thing because he's the one that has been playing on the album all the keyboards, all the strings, all the like everything that makes it sound expensive, if you understand what I mean. If you look at it that way,
mhm.
he's been doing a fantastic job. So yeah, he's the best.
So when you were writing that song, were you just like, sitting at your piano and you're like, man, I need to like thank my family for all the support, or what kind of like,
Yes.
well, that's
Eh,
cool.
but that's the cool thing when it comes to writing lyrics sometimes because like when you're starting to noodle about like you I always just sing and I sing gibberish and then words starts to come out and then you go back and then you realize what is it that I sing about
Yeah.
and you realize that aha, okay, let's yeah, this is the song that we're doing today.
What did they think about the song?
They don't know about it.
Oh,
They don't know that it's about them. It's not that I comment like, and I don't thank them for and like look what I've done. Look how good I am to that thanks you. That they
yeah.
have to figure it out themselves.
Are you ever going to tell them at some point and be like, hey, this song is about you?
Yeah, I have another song that is on an Amaranth album that is for my daughter, and she knows about that and was happy about it, of course.
Well, that's awesome. So it is a sweet song. It's a thank you song to your family.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song on the album? Because there's so many good ones on this one.
My absolute favorite is "Mark of My Sins." In my opinion, that is one of the songs that I'm the most proud of in my whole career. To be honest, I just think
Oh
that
wow.
that song for me, the lyrics hits really hard, but the whole Marcus did the riffing. I made the melodies, and it just for me it just hits. The music video turned out fantastic. I'm just super excited about that song, but unfortunately, as always, you make a multi-million-dollar looking video, and you have 100,000 views on it. It's weird. Sometimes you just want people to get it up in their face with the algorithms. But that's the war that we're fighting nowadays, right?
Yeah.
As musicians, we're no longer musicians. We are really bad social media personalities or influencers. I mean, like, I need to go to Herman Lee and have a like a crash course.
I hear you. Social media is so big, whereas back in the day, it was like, you had to go online or you had to buy the CD, and now you have so many options online.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's also that I mean, like, it doesn't matter if an artist has 100,000 followers somewhere and they post something, it's only 10,000 that is going to see that post because the algorithm decides that for you. You can no longer reach all your followers. You could just see that when we play somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember specifically one time I played Mexico City. And the fans in Mexico had been on to us for years. Come to Mexico City. We come to Mexico City. We play. The day when we land back in Sweden again, I get an email. Why don't you ever come to Mexico City? And I was like, we played there 2 days ago. Oh, but I didn't know.
Oh, that's awful. Well, I do have one last question here for you. Is there anything you'd like to say to your old fans, new fans, or anyone interested in listening to this album?
Absolutely. First of all, if you haven't ever heard Cyhra before, give it a spin, give it a chance. I think that most people that are into melodic metal should like this. If you're into metal that has growls, this is not maybe not the album for you. But also to the old fans, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for your endless support because you've always been there. That's the cool thing with the Cyhra fan base because the people that came in from the start, they are still there. And that's amazing.
Well, for anyone watching the interview, you do have to wait a little bit because the album doesn't come out until June 5th. I have to tell you, I've listened to it many times and it's amazing. You're definitely going to want to make sure to check it out. It's called Requiem for a Pipe Dream. It comes out through Phoenix Music. I'll put all the links below so you can pre-order or order it if this interview is already out when you watch it.
Thank you. And I should mention one thing then. There's already 4 or 5 singles from the album out. So you could listen to half the album. And for you who loves vinyls, the vinyl for this is a color printed crazy. It's one of the most beautiful vinyls I've ever seen. And I'm not a vinyl collector myself, but you check it out.